The best film of 2018, written and directed by Lars von Trier, a divisive figure who was only recently welcomed back into the industry after a Hitler joke about Jews got him temporarily cancelled. The House That Jack Built explores the life of a serial killer and failed architect named Jack, played by Matt Dillon, who recounts several murders he committed over a 12-year span. Jack narrates these killings, explaining how each one of these events became his ultimate work of art. The critics insulted von Trier's character with nasty and inaccurate insults, and they labeled the film as sexist and torture porn. Uptight viewers walked out of the screening in disgust too. It polarized the audiences, and there was a lot of drama and debate surrounding this film, especially the way women and children are portrayed on screen. Some wannabe critics on YouTube also attacked Lars.
If you're into such pretentious circle jerk directors as Lars, because he takes it to the next level in this film. I know that he has really taken us far before Antichrist, but this film, wow. A hint of this is when the conversation goes to modern art and they decide to bring up Lars's past work and actually show clips of his movie while they're talking about art. This film is so fucking pretentious, like, I can't. It's actually funny how pretentious it is and almost self-aware, I'm hoping.
Yeah, so this dummy came and explained what makes it pretentious. Is she trying to say Lars is pretentious because his previous films are shown in the film? What's wrong with that? How does that make him pretentious? Lars is being self-observant. He's trying to understand himself and he's using art to do it. There's nothing wrong with that. Art is about expressing yourself. I'd rather watch a self-indulgent film than something that's impersonal. Additionally, Lars isn't just critiquing himself, he's looking at artists in general. He even references musicians like Bob Dylan. I'm going to spoil the ending, so please don't spoil yourself and pause this and revisit the video after you watch the movie. See, Von Trier is exposing our death-obsessed culture. The nastiness we see in cinema negatively influences people, and there should be a discussion about it. How much responsibility should artists who create ugly and cruel films actually hold? By the end of the film, Jack builds a house out of his victims. That's all he has to show for his art, his ugliness. Just like the artists in the film industry who indulge in their nihilism, they have nothing good to show for their art too. Eventually, Jack descends into hell following a bizarre trip, a Dante's Inferno illusion. And the final sequence of the film finds Jack in a tough position. He sees a broken bridge that leads to heaven. He can either follow his guide back to the level of hell where he's designated to be, or he can attempt to climb around to reach the other end of the bridge. But what exactly does the broken bridge mean? It means his path to salvation is broken. Jack tries to successfully make it to the other side, but he falls into the deepest part of hell. So it's not a nihilistic film despite its offensive content. Jack is punished for his rejection of spiritual values and indulging in his immoral lifestyle. He's not some highly intelligent mastermind who gets away with the perfect crime, and he doesn't get some unearned redemption arc. And at no point is he ever justified for his actions. In no way is he shown in a positive light or made out to be some kind of anti-hero. He's a straight-up monster who pays for his crimes. But with that being said, Von Trier still predicted the outrage it would cause. He's a step ahead of everyone. That's why he leans into the blood, nudity, and violence to make a point about our culture. You could say it's a fuck you moral film aimed toward the hypocritical, bloodthirsty industry. The media actually loves cruel and inhumane films because that's how they see the world. But the reason Von Trier's film was panned was because it didn't follow their rules. Let me explain to you what their rules are. A film is acceptable if it's bleak but still manages to not be politically incorrect, like Logan for example. Or if it simply agrees with the current politically correct attitudes such as 12 Years a Slave and Parasite. Throw in some PC comedy and you're good too. It doesn't matter if the film is a degenerate piece of work like Deadpool. In the eyes of delusional people, blood and sex in the house that Jack built is bad and cold and unsettling and excessive. However, blood and nudity and language in Deadpool is considered to be a fun time. But moving on to the other aspects of the house that Jack built, the music is captivating, meta, and the final scene of the film plays the perfect song. The few people in the theater with me laughed out loud when it happened. Matt Dillon is incredible and gives his best performance of his career. The film is beautifully shot too. Like I explained, it changed toward the end of the film. At that point you see Von Trier try to recreate pieces of art from the Romantic era, inspired by Eugene Delacroix. It's visually stunning. Who would have thought Lars von Trier would have delivered the most moralistic film of 2018?